Hey, Self-Made Nation, Colleen O'Connell-Campbell here, wealth advisor at RBC Dominion Securities and host of the Cash Rich Exit podcast. If you're an incorporated business owner or an incorporated professional in Ontario, today's episode is for you. I'm breaking down individual pension plans, IPPs. Why should you care? Because an IPP can convert today's corporate success into tomorrow's personal income tax effectively, tax efficiently, predictably, and on purpose without starving your business of growth. Stick with me and you'll walk away knowing what an IPP is, who it fits, and what the real advantages are over an RSP after age 40, and how it can support a smoother cash-rich exit and legacy. I'll be pointing you to two upcoming episodes that are interview-like, a practical panel with Munir Fruzin and Clark Steffi of Canadian Benefits Associates, and a case study conversation with pension lawyer JP Laporte. Okay, what's in it for you right now? Bigger deductible contributions as you get older. IPPs are a defined benefit pension set up by your corporation. Contributions are generally tax deductible and increase with age, often allowing more room than an RSP, especially when you're over 40. That means faster retirement capital builds with a discipline baked in. Predictable retirement income, because it's a defined benefit, you fund towards a target pension, not whatever the markets give you. That brings clarity to your exit math and your future cash flow. This also is a corporate to personal transition on purpose. Contributions are made by the company, they grow tax deferred and later pay you pension income. Translation, structured, tax smart movement of value from your corporation to you. Planning options you don't have with an RSP. There's some backfilling or past service top-ups buying eligible years of T4. Make-up contributions if returns lag assumptions, and potential extra terminal funding at retirement to enhance benefits, all within rules and actuarial oversight. If your goal is a cash-rich exit, an IPP might be worth a look. So in plain English, what is an IPP? I probably should have started there, right? An individual pension plan is a defined benefit pension established by your corporation for you, or possibly a small group of eligible family members who work in the business and receive T4 income. Your company contributes. Assets grow tax deferred. At retirement, sometime down the road, you receive a pension, a cash flow. The math is set by an actuary using rules under the Income Tax Act and pension regulations. So who's a typical fit? Incorporated in Ontario, being paid a T4 income, not just dividends. Age 40 to 71, that's the sweet spot for contributions to take advantage over limits that are far exceed RSPs. A profitable company, able to fund contributions without starving the growth of the company. There are a few ways to fund the IPP based on the calculations from current service, past service, that situation if there is a lag in performance, and when you're near retirement, something called terminal funding. All of these contributions, they sit inside a trust with investment rules, prudent investor diversification, and there are periodic actuarial valuations. So you get structure and oversight so that the pension stays on track. Now, why IPPs show up in exit planning or how they fit into exit planning. Three realities collide before a sale or succession. What are those three realities? One, you want transferable business value. Two, you want less tax friction at exit. And three, you want personal income clarity afterwards. The IPP sits in reality number three, personal income clarity, but is influenced by number one, transferable business value, and number two, less tax friction. Why? Because compensation strategies, T4 versus dividends, consistent funding, well, because compensation strategy changes cash flow optics, taxable income, and how you cleanly can purify the corporation before a sale or keep access to your small business rates during the time that you're building. IPP contributions are corporate deductions, and they can help shift capital from the corporation to you personally on a schedule, so you're not held hostage to some fantasy price. A little note or teaser in our Canadian Benefits Associates panel, Manier and Clark will walk through real owner scenarios, contribution math by age, Ontario flexibility that has come up since 2020, making it more appealing to consider an IPP, the costs, wind-up mechanics, and how they coordinate funding with growth. That episode is coming up next. What about family and family legacy when your business is a family affair? Well, you can design a multi-member IPP that includes a spouse and adult children who actually work in the company and receive T4 income. Why care about this? Well, if a member passes away, if a member becomes an angel, then the remaining assets can stay in the plan to fund the pensions for surviving members. For intergenerational planning, this can become more concrete. Tax-deferred capital stays mission-focused and can avoid probate. We'll stay practical about fit and governance, but if next gen is truly active in the business, this is one of the few ways to translate family business into family retirement outcomes with rules, not hope. Okay, but what happens at retirement or if I sell? Well, what happens then is you have a number of options. I'll highlight three. You can draw the pension with survivorship rules and minimums. So just like any other pension plan, you start to draw down a cash flow. You can do something called commute the value to another registered plan. That means basically transfer the asset value over. Again, there are rules to take into account here. You can also annuitize the IPP if you want a level guarantee. Which path is right? Which path is right for you depends on your exit method. If you had a share exit or an asset sale, timelines, tax modeling, the point is you choose with clarity because the plan is made such that you get to decide on purpose. And yes, we'll unpack mechanics and gotchas in JP Laporte's case study episode. He's brilliant at translating pension law into real world decisions. He's quite passionate about it. What about trade-offs here? Something you need to know. An IPP is not a cash jar. Access isn't like an RSP, it is a pension. Cost and complexity. Yes, there is a cost, and it is more complex than an RSP. You're adding actuarial and administrative steps, and the value comes from the structure plus the contributions plus that clarity. Commitment. Well, funding requires regular contributions. And if that bothers you, say so. We will model a flexible option for you that we can in Ontario now, but it does require a commitment. So, are you interested? Here's a little checklist for you. Quick owner managed checklist. Do this before we talk about IPPs. Like if you want to come and chat with me about how this might fit for you. Number one, are you incorporated in Ontario and paying T4 from your corporation as your income versus dividends? Are you age 40 to 71? And if you're under 40, that's okay. We should still chat. Do you want predictable retirement income at some point in the future? Would corporate deductions and tax-deferred growth help you grow faster? If the answer is yes to most of those questions, then an IPP likely belongs in your prosperity planning discussions. Let's chat. So coming up, why you'll want to listen more. In the next episode, Canadian Benefits Associates, Menier and Clark, join me for a practical numbers and stories session. We'll talk contribution math by age, Ontario rule flexibility since 2020, cost setup, windups, and how they coach owners to fund without starving growth. Then next, after that, I have JP Laporte. He brings real case studies and legal clarity, past service buys, coordinating IPP decisions around a sale, and retirement options, all in really human language. He's very passionate about this. Bring this to your accountant. They are important to have on board and understanding why this might fit for you too. You know, the rules have changed. So what would be the next step here? If you're curious and want to know more, reach out to me. Book a one-on-one as part of your wealth gap analysis. We can talk about whether an IPP fits. If your exit is in the next 3 to 10 years, let's get really serious about an IPP and whether it's the right thing for you. I do hope you found this particular episode insightful. I think IPPs have been under-examined as one way to create part of your cash-rich exit. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe here on YouTube, or if you're watching. Otherwise, please subscribe where you're listening on your particularly favorite podcast platform. I'm looking forward to welcoming you back again soon. I'm Colleen O'Connell-Campbell, Wealth Advisor at RBC Dominion Securities, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Oh yes, and a quick note, all opinions expressed by me and any guests are solely their own opinion and do not reflect the opinion of RBC Dominion Securities. This show is for informational purposes only. Before acting on anything you hear or see here, please consult a qualified professional. I'm a wealth advisor with RBC Dominion Securities, a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund.